the podium. The Honorable Shawn Richards, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Education. Come to the microphone.
This evening, I begin, of course, by acknowledging my cabinet colleagues, the Honorable Prime Minister, the Honorable Eugene Hamilton, the Honorable Lindsey Grant, the Honorable Ian Patches-Libod, the Honorable Vincent Byron, and the Honorable Wendy Phipps. Of course, we have a number of other distinguished persons amongst us, and I also acknowledge their presence. I also want to say a very special good evening to all of the good people from the town of Sandy Point. No gimmicks? No gimmicks? No gimmicks? Thank you. And to those not from Sandy Point, we welcome you to the best place in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Tonight, we're here with the third of our series of town hall meetings, our discussions for prosperity. And we have said it is a discussion for prosperity because indeed this team unity government is ensuring that you, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, are prospering. I am the Minister of Education, Youth, Sports, and Culture. But I've always said that when I'm in Sandy Point, it is about the issues relative to the people of Sandy Point. So tonight, if I don't focus necessarily on my portfolio, forgive me, but I'm at home, and so I have to speak to my people. I don't intend to speak for long because I only have a few notes here on this card. So I will not be as long as Eugene. Before we go into the issues though, allow me first of all to say congratulations to the sporting teams from Sandy Point, which have been doing quite well. The basketball teams, the football teams, all of the different teams right here in Sandy Point, congratulations. Allow me also to say congratulations in advance to all of the students from Sandy Point who recently wrote exams, and some of them will be receiving their results tomorrow. Whatever the results are, I said to you, congratulations, and if you don't do as good as you were expecting to do not give up, but continue to persevere. And as I speak on that note, let me look at education here in Sandy Point. Because for quite a number of years, whilst in opposition, I spoke to the issues affecting the people of Sandy Point. I'm now in government, and so of course, I'm expected to deliver on those very same issues. And I have been delivering on the issues. Because when we look throughout the length and breadth of Sandy Point is on the move. And I say Sandy Point is on the move. Because if you go down to Sandy Point High School, we have done work already down at Sandy Point High School. One of the first acts completed since I took over the Ministry of Education is the repair of the 5th form block down at Sandy Point High School. I see Miss Gavaya in here, and Miss Gavaya can tell you that you had a problem down there with bats infesting the roof of the 5th form block. That roof has since been replaced. We had to remove some 10 to 13 wheelbarrow of bat mess from a roof down at Sandy Point High School. But under the former administration, they didn't care about the people of Sandy Point. But Sandy Point is now in good hands. The work down there continues because we have a same issue down in the hall down there, and we are currently addressing that problem. We have a problem with electricity down there. That is also being addressed. Mr. D'Souza is shaking his head because he knows that under the BNTF program, that particular concern is being looked after. You go over to the Sandy Point Primary School, and you have had numerous complaints coming from over there about the bathroom facilities over there. I said to the people of Sandy Point that under the same BNTF program, a brand new bathroom block is being built at the Sandy Point Primary School. But it's not just the primary school and the high school that we are looking after, because the intention is to build a brand new preschool right here in Sandy Point, and that is currently being discussed at the Ministry of Education, delivering on behalf of the people of Sandy Point. But while I'm speaking about education, I want to make reference to a particular issue, because from time to time students see me and they say, "Shawn, what happened to our laptop them? We ain't getting any laptop." And I've said very calmly to the students that no, the Ministry of Education, the government has taken a decision to discontinue the one-on-one laptop program. And why have we taken that decision to discontinue it? Because you have some persons on radio trying to make it appear as if it's a political decision and we want to rob students of having access to laptops. But that is not the case. It is a decision that we have taken after looking at all of the facts. But it is not just the government which has looked at the facts and has come to a particular conclusion. In 2014 and 2015, UNESCO came to St. Kitts and Nevis and did a review of the education sector. Coming out of that review, in October of last year, UNESCO presented a report to the government. The report spoke to several different changes that we ought to make in education. And one of the things that the report spoke to is that of the laptop program. And it says here, policy issue 3, the need for a more strategic and targeted approach to the integration of ICT into teaching and learning. And I read, evidence. Just as ICT has permeated most aspects of life in the 21st century, so has its presence come to influence and enhance most aspects of education. Most education systems around the world see integrating ICT in purposeful and relevant ways into the teaching and learning process as a high priority. This may be for a number of reasons, as noted by UNESCO. Information and communication technology, ICT, can contribute to universal access to education, equity in education, the delivery of quality learning and teaching, teachers' professional development, and more efficient education management, government, and administration. The report goes on to say, This sector focuses on the current situation in St. Kitts and Nevis with regard to the integration of ICT into teaching and learning, and examines the effectiveness of current strategies and practices in the context of improving methodologies and student learning outcomes. The SKN CBR, which is the SKN Country Report, Background Report, has identified the following issues in ICT education in the country: the absence of a framework to guide the integration of ICT in teaching and learning. Software to support ICT integration has not been forthcoming. It says here, students were given laptops without a strong accountability maintenance structure. It goes on. Secondary school teachers receive little or no training in how to use laptops in and outside of the classroom. Only secondary school teachers in St. Kitts receive laptops, yet demands are made of all teachers, primary and secondary in St. Kitts and Nevis, to use technology in the classroom. But the report ain't stopped there. It goes on. These indicators, these issues are indicators of serious shortcomings in approaching ICT education. Ain't this government who said that? UNESCO. These issues are indicators of serious shortcomings in approaching ICT education. It would appear that, for example, the distribution of laptops to students and some teachers, although well-intentioned, was done without sufficient consideration, discussion, and agreement about why ICT programs and strategies that should be used and that should be developed and implemented. The current, apparently uncoordinated approach will almost inevitably lead to confusion, discontent, and perceived, if not real, waste of resources if this has not already happened. Strong language coming from UNESCO about the one-on-one laptop program. Teachers not ready. Classrooms not ready. Students not taught how to use the laptops for their own educational development. UNESCO saying it has been a waste of resources. Well, this government has promised to cut out the waste, and so we don't apologize for cutting out the waste. The report goes as far as to say that they met with stakeholders, and what the stakeholders said, the perception that current initiatives, in particular the laptops program, have had very limited success. Not just limited success, very limited success, for a far range of reasons, including lack of preparation and training for both students and teachers, lack of consultation, unreliability of hardware, waste of resources, limited educational outcomes, and so on. And that is why we took a decision to discontinue the program. But while the government took a decision to discontinue the program, we have bought computers for all of the schools, and we have upgraded the computer labs. As a matter of fact, we have not only bought computers for the schools, but when we bought the computers, we entered into agreement with Microsoft to train teachers how to use those computers to integrate ICT into the curriculum. It was only also 2 weeks ago that I sat down in my office with staff from Ross University. And coming out of those discussions, Ross University will be equipping every single school in St. Kitts and Nevis with computers in their labs and installing programs that can be used by the children. They're supposed to start, if they haven't already begun, at Bronte Welsh Primary School, because I said the lab there, that one is just about ready. And then they will be moving on to all of the other schools. Every last school will benefit. That is a government working for you. That is a Minister of Education working for you. So sometimes, when you hear them talking, do not listen to them. Empty vessels make the most noise.
And the empty.
They were just there a year and a half ago. And everything that they're talking about now, they had the opportunity to do. Had the opportunity to do it. And they failed to do it. Here in Sandy Point, I used to talk about the sporting facilities. And almost every single sporting facility in Sandy Point is being upgraded right now. And Jean kind of vexed with me about that. Because he's talking to me about those in Keyan and Connery. But the fact is that for more than 20 years we had a play field in Sandy Point without any lights. And as soon as we got the opportunity to put lights in Sandy Point, the lights were placed in Sandy Point. They argued and they said, I took the lights for Warner Park and put them in Sandy Point. Well, I told them already I have no apology to make, and I make none.
That's right.
I make none.
No apology. No apology. Shut.
20 years over there, and not one single light they placed at the play field in Sandy Point. And as soon as we get light, they run and ready to find something to talk about. Well, tell them continue to talk, because up to tonight when I'm coming home, the young men and women up there in Sandy Point are under the floodlights practicing football and other sporting activities.
Yes.
And we ain't done with the play field up there, you know. We are not finished with it. Mr. Wilshire is here, and just 2 weeks ago, I said to Mr. Wilshire that the children play area up there, the stuff up there sitting down too long now, and I want them up. I had the next meeting with him again today, they ain't up as yet. But he promised me that they will be up shortly. And now the tennis players, you want to know about the tennis court. Just before the last government rush down here, get somebody to come down there, come down in Sandy Point, cast a little piece of things, a tennis court. Tell the tennis players go look at it, a tennis court can't fit on the slab, a concrete that they put up there. Ask Public Works what has to be done now to correct it. That's why we have to dig it up and start afresh. Waste of money. But I said to the tennis players in Sandy Point that come next year, when we get the next set of money to further upgrade the Sandy Point play field, you're going to get your tennis court. It's a 3-year project that we're working on at the Sandy Point, the new Sandy Point play field. While we're doing work at the new Sandy Point play field, we're also doing work at the old play field, you know. That is the play field. That is the play field which is being used by the footballers. And I gave the footballers in Sandy Point a commitment that I am going to ensure that they have a better field to use to play football. And so last year, we ensured that the play field, the old play field, was regressed. I am waiting for lighting to go in down there. And the Minister of Works can tell you that just this morning I was in his office ensuring that Skelec comes to Sandy Point very soon to install the lights down there. He can verify that. Because when the Football League begins on the 28th of this month, if the footballers want to play until 9 or 10 o'clock in the night, they will be able to do so. That is what a representative does on behalf of the people. And I am here to work on behalf of the people. The basketballer said to me that come the 28th of this month, they also expect the basketball tournament to begin. And so I gave Mr. Wilshire next directive today. I said to Mr. Wilshire that by the 28th, I want the basketball court resurfaced, and I'm still waiting for the backboards that we have ordered, the glass backboards. Gene, you're going to get something to don't feel no way. They are coming. They are coming. Because for far too long, we in Sandy Point, we have been left in the wilderness. And we are now entering the light. As I look around in here, I see a number of young Sandy Pointers who had been applying for land over and over and over and over again, year after year, and couldn't get any land. Within less than 1 year in government, over 100 young people from Sandy Point receive house lots. I sit down over there. Dan can tell you how long she was waiting to get a piece of land. Every time she on file. Young cabinet now. I know there are others waiting. And I said to the others that you too, you will get your land. You will get your land. Sometimes when I hear them talking, I just said to them, you know, that when Shawn goes to bed at night, Shawn sleeps comfortably. Because I know that I have been looking out for the people of Sandy Point. This morning, I'm in Wendy's office, well, at the hospital with Wendy in a meeting. And when I done this, well, I went to discuss with her. I told her last night, Wendy, I want a meeting with you. And you know what the meeting was about? To discuss jobs for people from Sandy Point. Wendy is right there. She can confirm that I am telling the truth. Jobs for people from Sandy Point. When I look around Sandy Point, from Cleverly Hill to Crab Hill, you have quite a number of persons who have received jobs since the change of government. I see Baba clapping. Baba has come back home. And I want you all to give Baba a round of applause. But you know why Baba has come back home? Because Baba is now getting looked after. Baba is being looked after. That is what unity is about. Taking care of people. Embracing all of the people. I know sometimes people get upset with me because I look after PAM people, I look after Labour people, I look after all of the people.
As a politician.
All of the people. And so when I look throughout the length and breadth of Sandy Point, yes, it's not everybody who has come to ask for a job has been able to get a job, because the reality is that the government cannot hire everybody. But so long as there's a vacancy and I can assist somebody from Sandy Point, I will do so. I see the AG looking at me because I was by his office yesterday. Well, not even by his office yesterday. We were at dinner last night. I said, AG, I sent you a resume for a young man. What has happened to it? He says he's speaking to Patches about it because he feels a young man would be better placed in Patches' ministry. And so Patches, we have to speak about that. We have to speak about it. And next young man sent me a message this morning. He said there's a vacancy in one of Lindsay's ministry. And Lindsay can tell you right away, I sent him a message. I said, Lindsay, this young lady has applied for a job in your ministry. Please to look into it for me. Always looking out for the people of Sandy Point. And so when I hear persons complaining oftentimes I smile because I know what I have been doing on behalf of all of the people right here in Sandy Point. If you want to look at jobs in government, the record is there. You want to look at Sandy Pointers on boards, the record is there. Because prior to the change of this government, you had hardly any Sandy Pointer on a board in this country. CFPC board, Sandy Pointers there. UDC board, Sandy Pointers there. Social Security board, Sandy Pointers there. Frigate Bay Development Corporation, Sandy Pointers there. And you name them, we have Sandy Pointers on just about all the boards in this country. Because we, just like any other citizen, we have a contribution to make towards the development of this country. I want to speak to a particular issue at this time, which doesn't give me any pleasure, and that is the issue of crime. I speak to it because recently in Sandy Point in particular, we have had an increase in crime, especially gun-related crime. That kind of crime is foreign to Sandy Point. I used to be able to boast and say that with all of the homicides taking place in St. Kitts and Nevis, we have had zero or very little here in Sandy Point. And it really used to be zero. But recently, we have had a number of shooting incidents here in Sandy Point. Some which have resulted in the death of persons. Tonight, I want to make a special appeal to all of the people in St. Kitts and Nevis. But as the minister from Sandy Point, as the minister of youth, I want to make a special appeal to the young people of Sandy Point to put down the guns. People like to say Sandy Pointers boasting. I like to say we are a proud people. I don't want us to be proud for the wrong reasons. Let us be proud because of our accomplishments as a people, be it in sports, be it in education, whatever field it is. But certainly, we do not want to become famous for criminal activities here in Sandy Point. I say to the young people of Sandy Point, let us continue to live as we lived before, as brothers and sisters. We have spirit, and when you look at spirit, you see young people from Sandy Point all over Sandy Point, regardless of political affiliation, regardless of their social or economic class in life, coming together to form spirit and to ensure that we have a successful community festival. Just as we can come together for spirit and for other things, let us come together as a people. Let us put our differences aside. I plead to you, the young people of Sandy Point, let us put our differences aside and move forward towards the positive development of Sandy Point. My friend, the Minister for Number One, in addressing the East Bar State Town Hall meeting last week, spoke about the fact that for some 20-something years, we have been renting a building in Sandy Point for the police station. The Prime Minister has already said that for the next budget, he expects each constituency to come with, each representative to come with a list of projects to be undertaken in his or her constituency. I give the pledge to the people of Sandy Point that we will get a brand new police station here in Sandy Point. I remember my days standing up on the political platform and speaking about the fire truck that you used to have to turn the key for the fire truck to start. We now have a brand new fire truck here in Sandy Point. Once ago you go by the police station, no vehicles down there. We now have 2 vehicles assigned to the Sandy Point police station. That is what we are speaking about. Eugene spoke about housing, and we're expecting very shortly to begin our housing program, and Sandy Point is going to receive its share. When he asked me recently, where do I believe those houses should be built, I said some in Victory and some in the rest of Sandy Point, because Victory will not be left behind. Those from Crab Hill, you have been asking about your roads. He also asked me where in Sandy Point we need to put in roads, and yes, Rosemary, you're getting your roads soon. Sandy, you won't stop messaging me soon about the roads up there because you're getting your roads soon. Pardon? She said thank you. Shawn, I hear you, you're going to get your roads too. You too, Cherise. You too. And Inez, your house coming.
All right.
Patsy already gave your name to NHC, because when Minister Hamilton was speaking about those who already paid for their lands and will get the house built on their land, Patsy will be one of those persons. So yours coming. Have no fear. It is time for the people of Sandy Point to get their fair share. We promise your fair share, and your fair share has been coming and will continue to come. And I like when I'm in cabinet, because I have Wendy in there with me, and she's from Sandy Point. So when I'm looking for extra support for Sandy Point, as a Minister Phipps, she's standing up. I wonder where she's going. Or she's signing up to give me support. Or she's coming up with the manifesto with all the list of things that we have done so far as part of Team Unity, including things right here in Sandy Point. I have never ever believed in being a long speaker at town hall meetings, because I can stand up here this evening and speak to many other things in Sandy Point. Things which have been done and things which will be done. But I know you have your questions. I see Sylvie in the crowd, a strong supporter. And Sylvie never comes to a town hall meeting without asking 2 to 3 questions. And I don't want to deprive her of that opportunity tonight. The good thing is that Hard is cheering, so he can't ask any questions tonight. Can't ask any. But I know you have your questions. And so at this point in time, I am going to take my seat. But I say to you, the good people of Sandy Point, I thank you for the support you have given me over the last 3 elections. I said to you that I will not fail you. I will continue to deliver on your behalf. I will continue to look out for all of the people for Sandy Point. I said to you last election, no gimmicks, no tricks. Next election, Shawn sharing more licks. My goal is that whenever the next election is called, even more licks will be shared than what I shared last election. Good evening, God bless you.